Hey guys, how's it going? Working from home is like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it, or you're somewhere in between. If you've been lucky or unlucky enough to work from home over the last couple of years, you'll know there's some things that you absolutely love about it. Here's 5 things I adore about working from home. Number 1, no commute. Maybe I have unrealistic expectations about a commute. I used to be able to cycle into work and that was maybe 20 minutes down a hill, so it was fantastic. But I also moaned about that because in the winter it was so cold, my nose got really cold, got really red, and then as soon as you go into work you're really sweaty or really tired and you're just like, oh my god. But at least you're in control of your time. I think every so often I got to see deer and stuff because that's Oxford, it's kind of a city but also not. Long story short, there is no pleasing me, but I hate a commute. I had 2 jobs where I had to drive half an hour both ways. Part of the reason I took the first job was so I could become more comfortable in the car because again, living in Oxford, you don't necessarily have to drive everywhere. But I got over that pretty quickly and I loved my car. Best car ever. Had sat-nav. I mean, how many people could say their first car had sat-nav? Growing up, we had to wind up the windows manually. Having a sat-nav in the car was absolutely amazing. What an age I live in. And this was a second-hand car as well because I'm not paying that off the driveway. At the beginning, I was like, who let me in this 1-ton vehicle? I know I passed my test and everything, but why do they think I'm qualified to drive this? Who thought this was a good idea? But now I'm pretty confident with driving. I hated spending an hour of my life every single day in the car. And I'm the sort of person who has 5 routes to work so I don't get caught in traffic. It was a whole hullabaloo. I don't like that. I love that when you work from home, you can just go, okay, I'm gonna walk from this room to this room. I'm in work mode. I don't have to wake up extra early. I can get chores done around the house. Fantastic. Boom, that's your period. You're automatically getting time back in your life by not commuting. And you can see all these people around you going, oh, I'm commuting, wasting hours of my life as well. When you add it up, it's ridiculous the amount of time you're just sitting in the car. I loathed it. So no commute, fantastic. One of the best reasons I love working from home. Number 2, peace and quiet. There are some days at work where you just really want to knuckle down, put your headphones on and just get on with it. But if people are coming up to your desk, and it really just depends on the company culture, sometimes they arrange meetings and stuff, then you're sitting in meetings for hours, but other times people just come up to you and go like, oh, what did you do this weekend? I love talking to people, but I just want to focus. I knew a few people who had that little sign on the desk going, I'm busy, please leave me alone. But nobody looked at it. A lot of companies don't have the space to have certain areas where people could just go in and work, like a little quiet pods. Getting stuff done and having a little time to yourself to actually focus at home is amazing, but then I don't have kids. Number 3, ooh. I'm one of those horrible people who goes, oh no, I can't eat that. When someone comes around with cake, I go, oh, please, has it got free range eggs? My diet when I'm in a really good routine is great. I'm not eating when I shouldn't be eating and I'm not eating loads of junk food. So the work culture of cake, I love cake, I really do, but I'm not very good at saying no. So if I'm in an environment where I can control people coming around and being like, would you like some sweeties? Then that's good for me. Feels really sad to say that. Number 4, deliveries. This is just a convenience thing. How annoying are most delivery agencies? You have to be in for a certain period. I love Amazon Prime. I've not really had a problem with them. They've always been able to find my house. It's just the ones where they say, oh, it could be delivered the whole day. And you're like, it's not going to be delivered the whole day. Oh, you just give me a bit more information. And they don't. But even then, you can't go, oh, I've got a parcel coming. Sorry guys, I've got to go home. Funny story. I love royalty soaps. I was like, I want to make me some soap. The active ingredient in soap is sodium hydroxide, and you're not supposed to mix that with water unless it's in a very controlled environment. So I had a lot of sodium hydroxide being delivered because I didn't know how much I needed to make soap. I think I had 10 bottles of the stuff, and you only need maybe 50 grams, it's not very much. Depends on how much soap you're making, and I wasn't making very much. So I had this big parcel delivered, and it was a really, really rainy day, and they delivered it to the wrong place. They delivered it a couple of rows down because we had a similar address. We couldn't find this parcel. Kind of going around the houses going, okay, well that's not it, that's not it. These poor people, I have no idea how the sodium hydroxide is packaged. It could explode, and that was in my head the whole time. We finally found the parcel, and they'd packaged it really well because obviously they're used to this sort of thing. But the people opened the door, and I was so glad to finally get my parcel. Oh, it looks interesting, it's quite heavy, what's in it? Oh, it's just sodium hydroxide. I'm really glad that it didn't get wet because it would have exploded. And they were just like, fun times. It's important you should be able to be at home when you get deliveries of dangerous chemicals. Also being in for the plumber. If you're stuck between your house leaking and a really important meeting, you kind of have to go with the house, don't you? It's that guilt thing. Number 5, comfort. As a woman, hello, every month I've got a day or 2 where I don't feel so hot. And rather than in the middle of a conversation being like, oh, ow, It's like being hit in the balls, right? Continuously. Possibly not sharp. Very similar organs. Rather than having to suffer through that, I like being able to have the option to be at home with a hot water bottle, not talking to anybody, because I will snap. And also, I am more likely to cry randomly, okay? It's fine. It's something that I have to deal with, but it can be a little bit shocking to people just walking by. If they say something like, hello, how are you doing? And I go, I'm doing alright. It's not maybe as dramatic as that, but it is a risk for everybody's comfort. It's just nicer to be at home with a blanket, with my cat, and just, I'm not. General comfort. Don't come in with a cold. It's not very PC. I don't want your cooties. Don't cough in my direction. Why would I want that? I know I'm supposed to be up in my immune system, especially after recently. But no, I don't want your child's September bug. No, thank you. Just stay at home. Sniff into your own area. That's 5 reasons I love working from home. What are your reasons? Do you like working from home? Are you able to get a bit of peace and quiet? Do you have a dedicated office space? Let me know. See you next time.